the track.
Peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slane Hope, and I got another message for y'all, man. You know, like, I know a lot of people don't be thinking about this shit, but it only really take 5 seconds of anger for you to mess your whole life up. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that, right? But when you really think about it, 5 seconds of anger could fuck your whole life up. On some real shit, man. And especially if you're intoxicated, if you got liquor, if you got whatever you got in your system, 5 seconds of anger, man, could have you throw it all away. I know a lot of dudes be thinking they tough, man. They be armed, they be having that thing on them, and nobody can tell you nothing. I know, I've been there. I felt that rush. I know what it feel like to have a gun. Saying, I felt that rush. Nobody can tell you nothing. You feel like you God. You think you tough. You think you tough because nobody could tell you nothing. But that shit ain't tough. Because it don't take that much to shoot somebody. It really don't. It don't take you to be tough to walk around with a firearm. Doesn't make you tough on some real shit. But I will tell you what does make you tough. What makes you tough is being able to handle those consequences and those repercussions, right? So it could go a few ways. You could get caught, go to jail, and then you really have to be tough, right? Because you got to be able to handle that sentence that they're going to give you. Not just that, then you got to be able to handle the environment you're about to be going into, right? Your mind got to be able to handle confinement. And then you got to be able to handle everything that's going on around you. The extortion, the dudes trying to act tough, dudes trying to control you in the house. Like, all of these things, this is when you really going to get your trial to see if you're really tough. See, the 5 seconds of anger and the few minutes of doing the crimes in the street, that's not really tough. That's easy. That's simple. But then when you go through that process, this is when you really see who's really tough and who's really not tough. But even, let's take it a little step further, right? The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the strong amongst you is not he who overcomes man with his strength. He said, the strong amongst you is he who controls himself when he's angry. See, that right there is really how you determine how strong and tough you really are. Because do you know how tough it is when you are angry, when you are boiling? Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Do you know how hard it is having a firearm on you, or having a firearm at home, or having a firearm in the car? Do you know the strength that it requires when somebody disrespects you, or when somebody violates you, or when somebody makes you angry? Do you know the strength that it takes for you to hold your composure and not do something stupid? Forget the firearm. Do you know the strength that it takes for you, even in somebody, if somebody's in your presence and you get mad and you get upset and you get angry, and sometimes you want to fight, sometimes you want to slap somebody, sometimes you want to punch somebody in the face. Do you know the level of strength that is required of you to not react on your impulse that you're feeling in that moment? Do you know how tough you have to be to do that? On some real shit, that is tougher than pulling any trigger. And I know a lot of y'all not going to understand. A lot of y'all not going to get this. A lot of y'all not going to understand what I'm saying. It is, you are way more tougher and stronger to be able to overcome your anger, your 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 2 minutes of anger in that moment that could change your life completely. You are way more stronger when you control your anger than by drawing your weapon and pulling the trigger, or punching somebody in the face, or doing something impulsive just because you're angry. On some real shit, a lot of y'all not gonna get this. A lot of y'all are probably not even there yet. But this is why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this. He said, the strong is not the one who overcomes man with his strength. It's easy to punch somebody in the face. It's harder to handle those repercussions though. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those be getting killed, stabbed, a whole bunch of stuff happen. But the point is, it is easy to punch somebody in the face. It's easy to slap somebody. It's easy to put your hands on somebody. It's easy to pull the trigger. It don't even take, it just take a light tap. It's easy to do that shit. It's not a tough feat. That don't mean you're strong. That don't mean you gangster. Gangster is knowing that you can harm somebody, or that you can kill somebody, or that you can overpower somebody, but walking away. That shit requires extreme discipline. Extreme. That's gangster. That's gangster. Knowing that you could crush somebody. Knowing that you could literally end somebody by the will of God, because you know you don't decide nothing. But knowing that you can take a certain action and being able to walk away, man. That shit is extremely hard. I'm telling you. If anybody that's watching this video has ever been in that position where they had to do that, where they had to swallow their pride, where they had to walk away, where they had to control themselves, you know what I'm saying? If you ever been in that position, then you know how hard that shit is. You know how hard it is to be in a situation where you could just thrash somebody. Even if you feel like you can't beat them. You know what it's like to be in a situation where you could just get crazy with somebody. Especially if you used to live a certain way. Especially if you're used to responding a certain way. And then being able to just walk away. You know, I used to have this thing. Back in the days, right? Now, I'm not even going to go into that story. But yeah, I think that another thing the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he said, if you get angry while you are standing up, he said, then sit down. He said, if you are still angry, or if you get angry while you're sitting down, then lay down. And I ain't going to hold you. These things work. I tried them myself. You know, when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know about all that. But it does work. I don't really know the science behind it, but it does work. If you're angry, it's almost like when you talk with your hands. I tell people all the time, stop talking to me with your hands. Because if you're talking with your hands and you're upset, you're more prone to put your hands on people. So I tell people all the time, don't talk with your hands, please. Like, I tell guys and girls, don't do this in my face, and don't do, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I already know psychologically, if you talking like this, you are more prone to put your hands on somebody, right? So I look at it almost like that. If you put your hands down, it's almost like, you know, it's a level of control. Some people can't really control that. So if you put your hands down, and then if you're standing up, you know, it's another level, right? And if you sit down, it's kind of different, but I kind of get the science to it. But that's the whole thing, right? And another thing that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when we get angry, there is a devil, there is a jinn that is whispering to us, right? This is why a lot of times it also says for us to seek refuge in God from the accursed devil. And in the moments when we are angry, because the devil whispers to us. You know what I'm saying? Whispers to us. You ever get angry and then you just thinking in ways to violate the person who made you angry? You just think a lot of times you don't really think. We don't really think, especially if we're intoxicated. We don't really think. Again, like I said, those 5 seconds of anger could last you a lifetime of pain, man. A lifetime of pain. Because you could go to jail, you could do your 7, your 10, your 15, come home, and then you got to confront a whole bunch of other things. You can't live certain places. You can't do certain things. You can't get certain licenses. In some states, you can't vote. So it'll be a lifetime full of pain and obstacles, all because you had a 5-second outburst of anger and you couldn't control that. So I think we need to start redefining what gangster is, man, because it's easy, like I said, it's easy to shoot somebody. It's easy to stab somebody. Well, stabbing is a little harder. I don't want to say that's easy, but you get what I'm saying. It's easy to commit crime and do certain things, especially when you're in these intense emotions of anger. It's easy. The hard part is controlling yourself, man. So Hopefully you remember this, whoever watches this, and try to work on controlling yourself, man. Because the strong is not the one who overcomes people with their strength. The strong is the one who is able to control himself when he is angry. Hopefully that's something beneficial. Know that it didn't come from me. It came from the knowledge that God has taught the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm just a vessel that is giving y'all the message that I received and I read upon myself. So let me know what y'all thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Take heed, man, and stay blessed out there. Peace.